What's up, peers, and welcome to the World Crypto Network here at the Breaking Bitcoin Conference in Amsterdam. We are joined by the Wingman. What's up? How are you doing? Who are you?
Hey, Max, thank you. My name is Daniel, and I'm from Munich. And I'm just a regular guy.
Just a regular guy.
Just a regular guy trying to get some people into Bitcoin, yeah.
Perfect. Onboarding, always nice. Education, always very important. And just the last couple of days, there have been cool things happening in Munich. So two main events back to back that really were a cool 1-2 punch. The first was the Lightning Hack Day. The second was the Value of Bitcoin conference. You were involved with both projects, and you did a phenomenal job organizing both of them.
Thank you.
So maybe to start out with, why did you decide to get involved and support this organization?
I mean, originally I started with this idea of doing the Value of Bitcoin conference after I met Saifedean Amos back last year in summer, and he was in Munich at a meetup. So we had a meetup with him, and he was talking about his book, and I asked him why he came to Munich, and he said, I was at the Bavarian State Bank and had a talk there. I thought, okay, he's like at a bank and holding a talk at a bank. This is quite interesting, because I always thought, hey, basically Bitcoin is a very interesting concept for banks to really look into it. So I thought maybe it's interesting to extend this kind of interaction with banks a little bit, and ask him if he is willing to do this again, but in a more extended setup with more speakers and more people joining on stage, and also maybe have some critics of Bitcoin also on the stage and have a debate on what's the good side, what's the bad side on Bitcoin, and also, of course, discuss about the current financial system. What is the good, what is the downsides, what are the upsides of the current system.
Yeah, that is really what stood out, I think, at the conference, was the very well balance of pro and contra Bitcoiners, who then have really good arguments, actually, that are worth discussing, and not just fluff piece buzzwords. So it was actually a really good conversation, a really good debate, where different point of views were presented, and ultimately, judged by everyone in the audience. So I think it was really well to have both sides coming to this debate.
Thank you. I mean, so for me, it's I would say I'm a critic myself, and with every step down the rabbit hole, basically, I try to recap what the idea behind this step was, and if I can find anything which could change my mind again, right? So I always want to challenge myself, follow this idea of don't trust, verify, basically. And I thought it's a good idea to, so especially for people who start into Bitcoin at the very top right now, they should have the same experience, not just hear the positive things about Bitcoin, but also at the same time have exposure to all the critics about Bitcoin, so that they can make up their mind, or they made up their mind themselves. So with all the different kind of perspectives, be able to really come up with an own idea, with an own perspective, with an own, kind of personal thought what Bitcoin is, and of course develop on that. So don't stop there, always go on.
Yeah, exactly, right? And the rabbit hole really does go very deep. So now after the conference, what were some points that were brought up that really changed your mind and challenged your thinking?
So I wouldn't say changed my thinking so much there, because the talks, everything there from my perspective was quite high level, I guess from your perspective as well. But I think, or at least from what I heard from a lot of people, also from bankers and from corporates who went through this conference, was that they got a really good idea and a really good understanding of what Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin not is, and of course what blockchain does not do for them. At least some could kind of understand that blockchain is stupid in most use cases, or in almost every use case. So
it was very good to start with Giacomo.
Yeah, definitely.
To just shatter shitcoins from the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything you've been told is a lie. It's Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
that was good.
Yeah, so I don't want to think the people that Bitcoin is the only thing. They should like come to this conclusion on their own, ideally. Yeah, but of course it helps to give them like a head start, basically, where if they don't trust Giacomo, they can go back and do their own analysis of his arguments. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were also representatives of central banks, right? And so,
Yes.
so what were their point of view, and especially here then in contrast with Bitcoin?
Yeah. So you mean what they said after their panels, or what they said during the panels? Because I think you also attended you also attended the conference and you watched the panels.
Yeah.
So what was your like kind of summary of, or how did you and would you interpret the discussions with central bankers? And of course we should mention that the Bitcoin proponents basically were Saifedean. Advocates, not proponents. The Bitcoin advocates were Saifedean and Dr. Thorsten Polleit, who's actually not really a Bitcoiner. He's not at all a Bitcoiner, but he might have converted to a Bitcoiner during the conference.
I spoke with him exhaustively because he's a very, very fine Austrian economist.
Yes,
he has
that's the point,
very well understanding of monetary theory.
Exactly.
And when we really then talked about the in-depth of Bitcoin and what really makes it such a beautiful phenomenon from the monetary point of view, he really does understand it quite well.
Yeah, it resonated with him, of course, yeah. I mean, he's the president of the Ludwig von Mises Institute, Germany, so subsidiary of the global Ludwig von Mises Institute, and he's working as a chief economist for Degussa, which is the biggest European precious metal marketplace or kind of dealer. I don't know, I think they are a dealer, right? And also they have a lot of storage facilities. And together with Saifedean, and they debated, the two central bankers, about the idea of having a free market of money. And yeah, in my opinion, it went quite well. So it went quite well for the Bitcoin side. But of course, it's, I mean, there were two different kind of ways of thinking clashing together. And if you listen to the debate, you recognize that that especially the central bankers, they are kind of, for me, they were quite open to the idea of Bitcoin, but they said, hey, I mean, it's the euro, it's the US dollar, it's like around for already quite some time now, and it's not that Bitcoin's just coming and make the US dollar or the euro irrelevant, but of course, there is basically a chance. And I mean, Mr. Waller, he's the executive vice president of the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. He basically said, hey, I mean, of course, bring on the competition. We compete with 150 currencies every day, so one more is okay. And I mean, everyone would agree, okay, great, let's have a competition and figure out what's the best money here. So I think that the biggest problem, of course, is that figuring out what's the best money is very much depending on knowledge. And so I think, and knowledge without an authority telling you what's the truth, but figuring out the truth yourself, or what you think is the truth yourself, is very, very depending on that. And this means education is core, in my opinion. So, and I try to give my 5 cents to this education part.
5 satoshis.
5 satoshis to this education part with doing the conference here.
Yeah, very nice. It really is important to increase the knowledge base and to really exchange it in this or engagement of ideas, and to see what actually works out and what is proper. And so, of course, the Value of Bitcoin conference was more, let's say, theoretical, right, with presentations and more discussions. And
I would say it was on economical level, or we try to keep it economical only. Of course, you can't avoid the tech part completely,
yes,
but we wanted to minimize it as much as possible.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, then, for example, previously, then there was the Lightning Hack Day, right, or the 2 days, and that was also really, really nice. So you were also involved here. What was, in contrast to the value of Bitcoin, what were the goals of the Lightning Hack Day?
I mean, the Lightning Hack Day is, this was already the 5th time it's happening. So it's organized by Jeff. On Twitter, it's Fulmo Lightning, @FulmoLightning, and he's just a very nice guy, trying to do the same thing I'm doing, like doing education and bringing people together and develop something which is kind of disrupting, right? So which is helping the whole society or the society in general. And so I thought, like, when I'm doing this conference together with the Bavarian State Bank, it's kind of very high level, and a lot of counter Bitcoiners or anti-Bitcoiners would be there, or at least critical thinkers. And I thought maybe give this whole conference a little bit a push of this like Bitcoin feeling by combining it with with a developer or with a hacky day thing, and make some more, I don't know, create some Bitcoin energy around this conference. And so I talked to Jeff if he's interested in doing a hack day in Munich, and it was perfect timing because the last time was in New York, the 3 times before were in Berlin last year, and he said, yeah, I wanted to do one more hack day this year before we do the Lightning Conference in October. This will be amazing. The Lightning Conference in October in Berlin again, and so it might make sense to do the hack day, the last hack day of the year, not in Berlin as well, but somewhere else. So Munich seemed to be perfect because Munich has I think the biggest Bitcoin community in Germany so far. I think it's almost bigger than Berlin. Not 100% sure, but so it's if you want to do some, or if you want to get exposure to to Bitcoin community next to Berlin, Munich is obviously the place to be. So he was very open for that idea, and said, okay, I need someone who's helping to organize everything at the venue, or like organize the venue and stuff which is needed in Munich. So I said, yes, of course, I help you here. And it turned out to be a really, really amazing event.
It really did, and I think that the location played a big part, because it was a huge space with a separate main stage, the Wumbo room, which was really huge. With, I don't know, 100 people could fit in there, probably.
120, yeah.
120, yeah. And there were like the main scheduled talks that Josh from Voltoro graciously recorded and live streamed, which is awesome. And I think they will also be cut up and uploaded to the World Crypto Network, which is cool.
Cool.
And then there were 2 breakout rooms that were a bit smaller, Satoshi and Reckless. And here there were the breakout sessions in a barcamp format. So anyone could propose any topic to talk about anything, and people would just come and listen to it. And that was awesome, because that really gave the room for in-depth discussion about one specific topic, where someone can present what he has been hacking on.
Oh yeah, just presenting an idea where someone is, or nothing is happening at all. Also, I presented an idea and got some response from people who wanted to start figuring out how Lightning works and do their first app, and they approached me afterwards and said, hey, this is a great idea. Let's just try it out and implement it and figure out if it works or not. So great environment to like spread ideas, talk about ideas, and find people who are willing to come together to experiment with these ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and of course the big event space you mentioned in the beginning.
Yes.
This was my favorite.
Yes. The huge hacker room.
Yes, the huge hacker room.
Everyone was hacking on something.
Yeah.
There was a beer Lightning machine. You pay with Lightning, you get
my
beer.
favorite.
So there was a non-stop beer without someone like really doing anything, because the robots are taking our jobs, right?
Yeah.
Especially when they're powered with Lightning payments. There was Lightning payments for coffee. Which is awesome.
Yes. Lightning payments for sweets, Lightning payments for getting chocolate-fired fiat money.
Yes. The offline ATM.
The offline ATM, yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, there's so much cool innovation coming here with Lightning Network.
Yes, absolutely.
It really is exponential.
Yeah. I mean, it was also exhausting. So on Sunday, when I looked at my Lightning wallet, beer tap. Okay.
And on the next morning, coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like that's the thing. Like we did over like 1,000 transactions completely off-chain, only on Lightning, with private transactions that nobody knows about, that are onion routed on throughout the network. It's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah. And I talked to the coffee guys, and they were like so amazed by everything. And they also said like it worked so well. They didn't expect this. I think just 2 or 3 transactions didn't went through. Like everything else went through. Which is really great. And on Twitter, I followed some discussion, and there was like, okay, how many developers set up this infrastructure for the coffee bar to accept Lightning payments? And actually, it was just one guy doing 2 or 3 hours of work. I mean, of course, he implemented the same solution, where it was the same node, which was already used for Bikini Mitte, which is a bar in Munich where we also did like the first gathering on Friday evening. Where also, I think, more than 100 Lightning payments were made.
And I mean, the cool thing is, for me as a user side, I have the same Lightning Network channels open on my phone for now, again, half a year or so. So I just constantly refill the same channels and have, again, money to spend on my hot wallet. And I don't even have to open a new channel. So for every event that I go to, was it Parallel Now Police, didn't have to open any channels.
Awesome.
Yeah. And with the same channels that I pay there, I can pay here at this event.
This reminds me of an interesting experience I had during the Lightning Hack Day, because there was someone who wanted to get he wanted to just get some liquidity on his side. No, the other way around. I wanted to get some liquidity on my side, so I can't remember it completely, but just I gave him 10 euros, so he sent me liquidity. So he just filled up my channel. So for me, it was good. I got rid of my fiat, and he wanted to buy something or so, and so he got the 10 euros and was happy to send me some Bitcoin over Lightning Network. So I had enough Bitcoin back on my wallets to pay for more beer and for more coffee.
Perfect. And you see, once you have these channels established, you really see the power of these micro channels that can go in both directions.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to also see Hodl in action. So this will be. So the talk of Max was really nice, and I think it will help a lot of merchants to figure out how do they get more inbound liquidity without closing channels or reopening or opening new channels. So I think they can just push away the liquidity and exchange it for on-chain Bitcoin or exchange it for 4 euros or $1. And so they have enough capacity, inbound capacity again to get more business in.
Yeah, this really is awesome, and we see more and more the infrastructure of Lightning being built out.
Yes.
So I mean, Max announced actually the Lightning implementation here on the World Crypto Network back in December 2018.
Oh, okay.
So it's all closing a circle now. We have like all these projects that at the previous Lightning Hack Days, right? They were hacking along and they were building awesome stuff. Then they somehow figure something out.
And now they're coming to life. Yeah.
Exactly, and now it actually works on mainnet with real money, and you can actually do stuff with this. So I cannot wait to see, like, with the last year of improvements, how the next year will be when we actually see the fruits of our labor. Yeah. It's going to be insane.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, what we always should keep in mind is that this is all very experimental and in the very beginning or very early stage. And obviously, doing so many Lightning payments in another environment would have not worked. But of course, everyone there was like feeling very comfortable with using Lightning and understands the concept. I mean, overall, in the long term, probably the UX will become much easier, so that people, even with non-custodial wallets, will feel also comfortable with using Lightning. But I mean, even just knowing that this is so experimental and that the setup was only possible, or that so many payments were only possible in the setup, showed me that, or I got at least the impression that there's so much going on, and like we are in the center of like an epic change, which is going to come, and no one can prevent it. So and looking at this in a kind of live version, how it's being built is kind of amazing, right?
Yes. And to really like see some of the potential, right? And to get like enough to be excited about it, but still knowing, oh my, I have no clue about all of this, And when we all work together to build this, it's going to be mind-blowing what we can
Yes,
accomplish.
exactly.
And you don't even know how much we can accomplish because it's such a wide array of possibilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's build it.
Let's build it.
And let's keep educating people about it, because again,
Yes,
that is very important
yes.
to provide the tools and to package the knowledge of how to use these tools
Yes.
accessibly.
I mean, every talk on from the Lightning Hack Day is, besides the parts from the or like this breakout sessions, they are not online, but all the main talks are online, and also for the Value of Bitcoin conference, we plan to publish all the talks and panels hopefully very soon. Of course, we're going to ask every of the speakers if they agree to publish it. We got almost all the OKs, and then of course some work needs to get done for cutting and stuff like this, and then we're going to publish them hopefully very soon. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. I'm really looking forward to it, and hope that also the Bavarian State Bank is open to do this again. I mean, the feedback was amazing. So.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We need more of these conferences, more of these tribe gatherings. And again, the conversations and the discussions we have here are very important, and they actually build the future. So we need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So?
I would say so. This reminds me of something, because I always meet people who say, "Hey, what can I do in the Bitcoin world? What can I do to earn money in Bitcoin?" Because it's like, okay, there's this protocol, but it's not a company. I can't work for Bitcoin. This is actually, it's not true. Figure out what you really love to do, and then you figure a way how to make money with working in Bitcoin. And I mean, I'm an event organizer since I'm 15. Started with LAN parties, and
Yes.
yes, and then build up the events for one of the, I think, the biggest esports company in the world, Turtle Entertainment, Electronic Sports League, and from then on, I stayed in the event industry all my time. Worked for Eventbrite, for the German competitor of Eventbrite, and stuff like this. So it just made sense for me to like go on with what I'm good in, but just convert it to Bitcoin.
Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, take the skills that you already have in the areas that you have expertise in, and apply them to in Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is such a broad field. It's money. I mean, everything touches money.
Exactly.
So we need everything in this space. And so, like, many people ask always, how can I get started in Bitcoin? Well, do the things you're good at.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're like me and you can't stop talking about Bitcoin, we'll put a microphone in front of your face, right? And it works. If you're good at coding, then do like protocol development. If you like user interface and like graphical design, then do UX.
Apps, yeah.
Yeah, and if you organize meetups and events and do education that way, do this. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And it's a permissionless system. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, of course, I kind of ask for permission, I would say, in terms of that I ask many people, do you really think it's a good idea to bring Bitcoiners and bankers into one room? So of course, if like
big fight,
will be a lot of fun. No, I mean, if the people in the community would have told me, I don't think it's a good idea, or most of the people would have told me, I don't think it's a good idea, I would probably not have done it. But like kind of everyone told me, yes, why not? I mean, in the end, it's about a dialogue, right? So figure out how people can move more closely together and cooperate, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, thank you very much for joining us
here
today.
Thank you, Max.
And let's keep on enjoying here the Breaking Bitcoin conference.
Yes,
which is awesome.
Amazing.
Really, right? We have too many good Bitcoin events. We need to slow down. This is exhausting.
It's interesting. Like last year was, or 2 years ago, was all about blockchain, and now all these Bitcoin conferences popping up. This is amazing. Yeah.
It's too much Bitcoin. We need to further niche it down so it's more digestible.
Yeah.
This is too much. Well, Piers, thank you very much for joining us here again, and see you on the next show. Bye bye.
Bye bye.